And a mistake that I see a lot of talent making is that they'll have their name. So let's say my name is Lebo Lion, but then they'll open another business that isn't Lebo Lion, that does other things. So maybe I do events or maybe I do pottery. And that's not the same as registering a business for your personal brand, which is Lebo Lion. So you have to have an actual business for the brand. If you get paid to dance, that business must be a business that gets paid to dance. If you get paid to speak, it must be a business that gets paid to speak. It must be directly related to the services that you're offering, not the diversified ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Come let me teach you a lesson. Come let me teach you a lesson. Label line with the tweets. Follow me back to my nest. Label line with the podcast. Teach you lesson cause I got class. Label line with the impact. You be lying, that's a real fact. Come let me teach you a lesson. Come let me teach you a lesson. Label line with the tweets. Follow me back to my nest.
Welcome to Diary of a CMO. My name is Lebo Lion, known as the voice of marketing and your friend in all things marketing, brand building, and sometimes pop culture. Today we have a very special episode on Diary of a CMO that we're going to do to tie us over to our next episode with our next CMO. In today's episode, I want to talk about something that we've been speaking about quite often online, and I keep getting asked by artists, their managers, and other talent, how do you navigate the business world as a talent, right? How do you do it as a content creator, as a DJ, as an actress, actor, etc.? How do you navigate it? And I thought, before we even give you the tips on how to navigate it, we need to talk about the mindset shifts that you need to have in order to navigate your career successfully. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about what are the top 3 things that you should be thinking when you are building your brand as talent, and how will that help you navigate your career over time so that you can be successful over a long period of time. And I'm going to go straight into this. We want to make this a very quick and short episode. We want to give you big nuggets very quickly so that you can take them and implement them. Hi tribe, this is a kind reminder to ask you to like, share, subscribe, and do the things that you need to do to get this podcast to reach the right people. We want to grow this community and elevate it to greater heights, and we need your help to do this. If you're not already subscribed to our newsletter, please click the link in our bio to subscribe so you can get all things marketing, brand building, and mindset in our weekly EIM newsletter. And don't forget to keep checking in our link when we have events and masterclasses. Enjoy the rest of the episode. So the first one is, and this is something I see that does not happen often, which is you need to think about yourself as a brand. I sing this song every single day because it is so important. A brand is something that has commercial value and it has long-term value. It's like an investment, right? It appreciates over time. When you create a brand for yourself and you become a brand, you're no longer just the person that you are, but you're this entity that stands for something, that offers something to the market, that has a POV, and anybody can buy into that. You can create diversified products from that. You can grow in different ways from that. So you want to stop thinking of yourself as a person and start to think of yourself as a brand. If you're serious about making money, if you're still going to come and say, but what about my personality? What about me? Then you're not ready. And that's okay. Stay in the lane that you're in. I'm talking to people who are serious about making money from their careers and growing a long-term brand and career. So that's the first thing. You need to see yourself as a brand, not as a person, because you are selling this. You're not selling a product or a service. So this has to be branded so people know what it stands for, how to use it, how to buy it. The second thing you need to do is you need to create a business around your name, right? It's one thing to be called Lebo Lion, but what is the business entity registered at the CIPC around that name? That matters because that's going to allow you to move through your life as a business. You'll be able to make better financial decisions. You'll get better rates from banks, and you'll be able to have seamless movements when it comes to getting funding, for example, or getting investors into your personal brand. They need to feel like they're investing in a business, not a person. So you have to have your person aka brand, registered at the CIPC? What is the company that you're registered under? And a mistake that I see a lot of talent making is that they'll have their name. So let's say my name is Lebo Lion, but then they'll open another business that isn't Lebo Lion, that does other things. So maybe I do events, or maybe I do pottery. And that's not the same as registering a business for your personal brand, which is Lebo Lion. So you have to have an actual business for the brand. If you get paid to dance, that business must be a business that gets paid to dance. If you get paid to speak, it must be a business that gets paid to speak. It must be directly related to the services that you're offering, not the diversified ones. I know you want to appear as a business person, but remember, the most valuable asset you have is the one that people come to you and pay for, not the new business you're starting. So make the thing that they pay for the business, which is why you must register yourself at the CIPC, have a business around that name. And the third thing that I don't see is talent investing in brand management. Brand management is highly underrated. It's one thing to be popular and have a name that people are screaming right now in this moment because you've made a popular song or you have a lot of followers, etc. But it's another thing to be a solid brand. And the only way that can happen is if you have people who understand the language of brand and the business of brand on your team, helping you build that. It is so important. They will understand, for example, how to map your brand. What does the future of your brand look like? What does the aesthetic of your brand look like? What are all the different parts of your brand that you can monetize and take advantage of that will give you not only a local but a global footprint? You need brand managers, and brand managers are very different to talent managers, are very different to a road manager. Your brand manager is the kind of person who gets you campaign deals for your social media. They will negotiate your contracts on your behalf for things like a magazine cover or a brand deal with your favorite apparel brand, for example. A brand manager is the person who actually builds that business you registered at the CIPC. They make sure that if you're making 1 rand, now you're making 10 rand. They help you do that by creating greater brand equity for your brand. So they make your name worth more. That's what your brand manager does. And it's a very different job to your road manager and your talent manager. So just beware of those things. If you have a brand manager, you're going to set yourself up for success. And you will not understand why certain opportunities are coming to you, but they're going to come because you've created a brand that calls those things in. Remember, a brand attracts, right? If you don't have a brand, you're always chasing. But if you have a brand, you're attracting. You'll attract the right media partners. You'll attract the right brand partners. You'll attract the right opportunities. So you want to make sure that you have the right brand management team. And guys, this is the bonus one. Do not be so ready and excited about the opportunities that you just pick anybody, right? Be patient. All of this stuff takes time. The mistake that I see a lot of talent making is that they're choosing people because they're getting offered something now, right? So the person will say, I'm going to get you the brand deal in 2 weeks, etc. But you actually need to be working with the people who say to you, it's going to take 6 months. We need to build this. We need to do X, Y, Z. So it takes time. Whatever you think it takes, double that. It takes a lot of time to build a brand. In fact, you'll only see the true success of your brand after 10 years. So it's a long-term relationship with whoever you're building your brand with. Make sure that you are also patient so that you're not expecting things that are not possible right now. And be honest with yourself. Yes, you may think you are great, but what is your brand in the market? And understand that whatever your brand is positioned as in the market is what you're going to get back, right? So that's what you need to be looking at and keep measuring that information so that you can see how you're progressing over the years. Guys, thank you for tuning in to this quick fire episode on Diary of a CMO. I want you to use these tips. These are invaluable tips. Use them to build your career. Use them to grow your brand. And you're going to see how much better your career is in the next 2 to 3 years when you implement these consistently. Thank you for tuning in. I cannot wait to see you again with our next guest on Diary of a CMO. Until then, continue building your brand, have patience, and always think bigger than you are because you're a global brand. Love you lots. Hi tribe. This is a kind reminder to ask you to like, share, subscribe, and do the things that you need to do to get this podcast to reach the right people. We want to grow this community and elevate it to greater heights, and we need your help to do this. If you're not already subscribed to our newsletter, please click the link in our bio to subscribe so you can get all things marketing, brand building, and mindset in our weekly EIM newsletter. And don't forget to keep checking in our link when we have events and masterclasses. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
Come let me teach you a lesson. Come let me teach you a lesson. Label line with the tweets. Follow me back to my nest. Label line with the podcast. Teach you lesson cause I got class. Label line with the impact. You be lying, that's a real fact.